Hello, beautiful souls. So, today is another day, an extension from yesterday, where we learned that God is the light in which I see. Today, we get to learn and experience that God is the mind with which I think. So, I'm going to read here what Jesus has for us and see what inspiration streams forth. So, God is a mind with which I think. Today's idea holds the key to what your real thoughts are. They are nothing that you think, just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. There is no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Nothing that you think you see bears any resemblance on what vision will show you. Now, this is the foundation for true vision, for true thinking, for reality. Because true vision has nothing to do with physical sight. True thoughts have nothing to do with the thoughts that are in our mind, that are running across the mind, right? The real thoughts that we share are the thoughts that we think with God. Our thoughts that we share with God are our true thoughts that we are opening to experience and remember and learn and welcome. And so today we get to experience that it is so. And I almost like to look at it too as just another thought here, that the thoughts that we currently hold in our mind are coming from the conditioned mind of this world, this ego thinking mind that's nonstop and continuous and all the time. And that's the roller coaster back and forth. And what we're doing with the thoughts that we think with God is raising our level of consciousness. So now our thought system is whole and complete. And it's vastly different from the thoughts that we had before. And we finally get to realize that these are our true thoughts that we share with God. And this is where our perfect happiness lies, our stable happiness lies. So, Jesus says, you think with the mind of God. Therefore, you share your thoughts with Him, as He shares His with you. They are the same thoughts because they are thought by the same mind. We have one mind, beautiful souls. To share is to make alike, or to make one. Nor do the thoughts you think with the mind of God leave your mind, because the thoughts do not leave their source. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind of God as you are. They are in your mind as well, where He is. As you are part of His mind, so are your thoughts part of His thoughts. So the reason God's thoughts never leave our mind is because they're always in the mind that we share with God. But when we are listening to the current thoughts that are in our mind, that are the quick, fast-paced thoughts that make us believe things that are untrue, when we are believing these thoughts in our current mind, then we are blocking the true thoughts that we share with God. So we're learning to enter into the space beyond the current thoughts and beliefs that we hold within our mind, so that we reach and experience that the mind of God is our mind, and that is where we are, and that is where everything we seek is. So this is why mind training is so imperative. So we can move from the limited mind that only sees and deals with things of form and in this world, so we reach our unlimited mind, which expands to the eternal and the limitless and the peace for all the world. So, now, today, Jesus says, where, then, are your real thoughts? Today we will attempt to reach them. We're reaching into this higher level of consciousness today. We will have to look for them in your mind, because that is where they are. They must still be there, because they cannot have left. What is thought by the mind of God is eternal, being part of creation. So today's exercise, we get to look for the thoughts that we share with God. And that's what's beautiful. For now we are realizing that we're not giving any power to the current thoughts that create suffering or pain or chaos in our mind or in our world. But we're going to the thoughts that we share with God, which are eternal and part of creation. So this is a happy day today. Our 3 5-minute practice periods for today will take the same general form that we used in applying yesterday's idea. We will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for the real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. We will not let the thoughts of the world hold us back And we will not let the beliefs of the world tell us that what God would have us do is impossible. So we're not listening to that voice of doubt anymore, beautiful souls. We're going on faith to reach the real thoughts that we share with God. So instead, we will try to recognize that only what God would have us do is possible. Only what God would have us do is possible. We will also try to understand that only what God would have us do is what we want to do. Only what God would have us do is what we want to do, wholly and completely and entirely. And we will also try to remember that we cannot fail in doing what He would have us do. We cannot fail. There is every reason to feel confident that you will succeed today. It is the will of God that you succeed today. Begin the exercises for today by repeating the idea to yourself, closing your eyes as you do so. God is the mind with which I think. God is the mind with which I think. Spend a fairly short period in thinking a few relevant thoughts of your own, keeping the idea in mind as you do so. After you have added some 4 or 5 thoughts of your own, repeat the idea again and tell yourself gently, my real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. This is the little willingness we need to find these thoughts that we share with God in our mind. Then try to go past all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in your mind and reach to the eternal. Under all the senseless thoughts and mad ideas with which you have cluttered up your mind are the thoughts which you thought with God in the beginning. They are there in your mind now, completely unchanged. They will always be in your mind exactly as they always were. How freeing is this? To know that the true thoughts that we share with God are always in our mind. Even if we have these cluttered thoughts in our mind, that doesn't mean that God's thoughts aren't in our mind. That just means we're listening to another mind other than the one we share with God. That's all that means. We've done nothing wrong. We just get to choose again here. Everything that you have thought since then will change. But the foundation on which they rest is wholly changeless. It is this foundation toward which the exercises for today are directed. Here is your mind joined with the mind of God. Here are your thoughts one with His. For this kind of practice, only one thing is necessary. Approach it as you would an altar dedicated to heaven itself, to God the Father and God the Son. For such is the place you are trying to reach. You're trying to reach heaven today. You will probably be unable as yet to realize how high you are trying to go. Yet even with the little understanding you have already gained, you should be able to remind yourself that this is no idle game, but an exercise in holiness and an attempt to reach the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you, for it is you. And today we get to experience that it is in our mind, it is within us, and it is us. And using the shorter form for applying today's idea, try to remember how important it is to you to understand the holiness of the mind that thinks with God. Take a minute or two as you repeat the idea throughout the day to appreciate your mind's holiness. Stand aside, however briefly, from all thoughts that are unworthy of Him whose host you are, and thank Him for the thoughts He is thinking with you. And so that's our lesson for today, beautiful souls. May we all rest in this gratitude that we share our thoughts with God. And may we let our willingness carry us to this place of peace, of heaven that is within us now and always, so that we may remember and experience that we share one mind with God, and everything that He wills for us is for us, and it is what we truly, truly, truly want beyond anything else. So today, as we go throughout the day, we will remember that God is the mind with which I think, and let this thought be the light in our mind that reminds reminds us of our own holiness. For we are all holy as God created us to be. So thank you, beautiful souls, for moving beyond all the thoughts and mad ideas which have cluttered up the mind until now to reach the space of peace and eternal love where we all reside together and as one. So with that being said, have a blessed day. My real thoughts are in my mind and I would like to find them. And so it is. I love you all. Bye.